So let's look at a past question here. WASSCE November 2020, question 5. Alright, tossing of a coin. So in an experiment, 3 coins were tossed at the same time. Okay. Determine the sample space for this experiment. So the sample space here means the possible outcome. Okay, so our sample space can be, as we already know, head, head, head. It can be head, head, tail. We can also have head, tail, head. We can even have head and then tail, tail. Alright, so head, 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 tail, head. And then we come to head, tail, tail. We can have tail, head, tail. We can have tail, tail, head. And we can have tail, tail, tail. So this can be our sample space. Head, 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 tail, head, tail, head, head, tail, tail, or tail, head, head, tail, head, tail, and then tail, tail, head, or tail, tail, tail. Okay, so if you'll be also confused with this, we can draw your table as we have also learned. You do the 2 against the 1. Alright, so if you watch our previous lesson, we have talked about tossing a coin 3 times. You can also look on that and then you get your possible outcomes or the sample space. So the number of sample space is 8. Alright. Okay, so if the number of sample space is 8, so we list there because of the probability question he is going to ask us. So when you write, you write your number of possible outcomes, the number of sample space. Okay, so our sample space is 8. Now let's go to the question. The B, list the event of tossing exactly 2 tails. So we are just listing exactly 2 tails. Okay, so it means that wherever we see 2 tails, okay, so here no tail, one tail, 2 tails. So head, tail, tail is part, 2 tails. Here is not part. Then we have tail, head, tail. Okay, and then we have tail, tail, head. So this is where we see exactly 2 tails. Head, tail, 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 head, tail, and then tail, tail, head. 2, 2, and 2. Okay, so there are 3. Alright, then let's go to the next one. The next one is what? We have at least 2 heads. At least 2 heads. At least 2 heads. It means that 2 heads or more. So since the coin was tossed 3 times, it means 2 heads or it can be 3 heads. So we have head, head, head. It's also at least 2. Head, head, tail. It's also at least 2 heads. Head, tail, head, also at least 2 heads. And then have, this is 1, so it is not part. Also tail, head, head is also at least 2, and that is all. Okay, so this is at least 2 heads, either 2 or more. So 3 heads, 2 heads, 2 heads, 2 heads. Alright. And then I, no head. So it is only the tail that we see no head. So that is no head in the tail. We don't have any head there. Alright. Then the next one is, so we are done with this. Find the probability of obtaining exactly 2 heads. Probability of obtaining exactly 2 heads. Okay, so we are going to look at exactly 2 heads. Alright, and then we find the probability. So exactly 2 heads. Okay, so that's exactly 2 heads. We have head, head, tail. We have exactly 2. Head, tail, head is also exactly 2. This is 1, and then tail, head, head is also exactly 2. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3. So we have head, head, tail. We have 2 here. Head, tail, head is also exactly 2, and then tail, head, head is also exactly 2. So where we see 2 hairs, that is what he's talking about. So the number of exactly 2 hairs. Okay, how many are there? 1, 2, 3. So 3. Therefore, probability of exactly 2 hairs. So what is the probability of exactly 2 hairs? So we have 3, and the number of possible account sample space is what? 8. So probability of exactly 2 hairs will give us 3 out of 8. 3 out of 8. Then let's do the last one. And then we are good to go. At least 2 hairs. So at least 2 hairs. So when you look at the B, I think we wrote the event of at least 2 hairs here. So because of that, then there is no need writing it again. So let's find the number of at least 2 hairs. Okay, at least 2 hairs. So at least 2 hairs. 1, 2, 3, 4. The number is 4. Therefore, probability of at least 2 hairs we got 4 over 8, and that will give me 1 over what? 1 over 2. 1 over 2. So that is that about this particular question, and I hope and I believe that this is understood and it's so simple. All right, so make sure to like our page, comment, subscribe, and share if you have not done so. See you once again as we also talk about tossing a die. Bye bye.